Welcome back into the Trevecca Sports Network. I'm Lucas Panzica, joined today by Trevecca head baseball coach Chase Sain. And coach, this isn't the first time you've done this, despite it being your first year as a head coach. Back on August 18th, you hopped on the Purple Ties podcast for your first interview with Greg Rupp as the head coach of Trevecca right after you were announced. Now, as we sit kind of near Thanksgiving, it's been about 3 months. You've gotten some work in, although under very unique circumstances. But how do you sort of reflect on this start of your head coaching career here at TNU?
Well, first off, Lucas, I appreciate you having me on, and I can't say enough about what you guys are doing. This stuff is great, and seeing all the coaches on here and what you're doing, you guys are doing a great job with this. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time and doing this. So it's been exciting. It's been different. Obviously, being the head coach and taking that transition, and I can't say enough good things and be grateful and thankful enough to everybody in the athletic department. I've been here for 3 years already. There's a lot of familiar faces, obviously, but just people reaching out, wanting to help, and during these times, that's important because it's hard to plan, it's hard to schedule, and so just can't thank everybody in the athletic department enough for them helping out and being available for anything we need as well.
So what kind of work have you been able to get in with your guys?
Yeah, so it's been unique. It's not a normal fall, to put it lightly or to say the least, but we've done what we've been able to do, and fortunately we were able to get a few inter squads in and much team-oriented practices. We've kind of potted our team as much as we can. But with that being said, we were able to inter squad, and I told our guys and I told our staff coming into the fall, as much as we can get out on the field and get these guys competing and any chance we can. So with availability to inter squad, I wanted our guys to play loose. I wanted them to have fun, and just seeing them on the field competing, and not knowing if we were going to be able to do that, and the availability to do that, man, that it was amazing to see. And I can't, on that note, I can't tell you how proud I am of our team and our players and our coaching staff for taking advantage of that. And not only that, just the way they competed, and you could tell how excited they were to get out there. And as a coach, man, you can't ask for anything else. And very pleased with what we were able to accomplish this fall, for sure.
Yeah, and you were able to get right to work, right? Because already 3 years as an assistant at this program, so much of a new head coach's job is to get to know the players, get to know the department. You already had all that under your belt. So does it feel like you kind of had a jump start when you got this job compared to maybe somebody else that would have come in with a lot less familiarity?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was a big time changer, and just me being here for 3 years, like I said, and having a hand in recruiting, and our most of this roster, along with our other assistants and Coach Smalls as well. We kind of all have a really big role and a really big hand in the recruiting process. But knowing the personalities and all of our players and our coaching staff as well, really benefited me so much. And these guys, it's a special group. They went to bat for me, and just can't thank our team and our players and our coaching staff enough for the effort and the time and everything they put in this crazy situation, for sure.
Well, what have you enjoyed the most about that change in responsibility, going from assistant coach to head coach? What's been the biggest thing you feel like that you've taken away that you really enjoy?
I think not much change, really. We've always been, our staff here at Trevecca and our baseball program has always been we use the word family a lot, and we have kind of different relationships with our guys, meaning our guys feel really comfortable coming to us, and we always have an open door policy, and sometimes as an assistant coach they come to you a little more, and they feel a little more open as an assistant coach. And the one thing I said to our team, in our first meeting is, guys, I don't want that to change. I want you to feel, as comfortable coming to me now that I'm a head coach as you did when I was an assistant. And the cool thing about that is I feel like they've kind of accepted that, and I don't want that to change. I want our guys to feel super comfortable coming to me with anything. My door is always going to be open, and I want that. I mean, we are a family, and I want our guys to embrace that for sure.
Well, yeah, and it's clear the relationship you have with the players was a key role in getting you this job. And I think from what I heard, they were instrumental in getting you the job themselves. So how have they made this uncertain time of this fall easier for you as a head coach?
Well, Lucas, we have an older group, which was very, very helpful, especially in going through this pandemic and everything, that all the ups and downs and the starts and stops. And, that's no different going through what we're doing and the fall as coming in as the head coach as well. When you have a mature group of guys and an older team that you've been around, I mean, you don't have to worry about them as much. And, yeah, they have my back, and they know I got their back as well. But that's easier sometimes said than done. But these guys, man, it is a special group. And, we've been having exit meetings with our team over this past week over Zoom and some in person. And, my biggest question to them is, and comment to them is, how has the fall been? Have you enjoyed it? And because that was my biggest thing out of this. I wanted these guys, after being shut down in March, is to enjoy this moment and every chance that we can to be on the field, to take pride in it and just enjoy being out there. And I can't tell you how excited they were for every chance they had. And then also I've told every single one of them, especially these older upperclassmen guys that chose to come back and continue playing and finish this last year, is, I hope and pray that they get the opportunity to go out on a high note and, play a full season and get that done, because they deserve that more than anything in the world, for sure.
Yeah, and I know they can't wait to be in competitive settings again. But in the meantime, you guys have been at work, and a lot of it has been part of your World Series that, maybe some folks don't really know much about. What can you tell me, for people that don't know about the Trevecca World Series, what it is and how it benefits your program?
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool moment we always have in the fall. It wraps up the end of the fall, and we do it every year. And a lot of college baseball programs, I'm sure if you look at social media much, you'll see that it kind of happens around the college baseball world, and that's kind of an exciting time to end the fall. And we do it every year. This year our pitching staff and our pitching depth was going to allow us to play, more of a true 5-game World Series, which I told our guys we go day to day, and that kind of got cut short, so we ended up making it a 3-game World Series. But yeah, it's super exciting. The guys, you don't have to get them up and get them fired up for that. They compete their tails off and just enjoy it so much. I mean, we make it as realistic as possible. We put them on. Obviously, there's 2 different teams. We get them kind of game uniforms to wear. And here is kind of special too. One thing we do, Eddie Moon is a guy that lives at Trevecca Tower, is a older gentleman that he doesn't miss much. He's as much a part of this program as anybody, and he has a seat out there at Jackson Field, and he's there at practices. We're taking BP. He's always around. So our guys came up with the idea. One of the team's name was Mr. Eddie's Kids. So they embraced that, which is a pretty cool story. And then,
well, what were the other team names?
The other team name is, Todd Welch is a big time supporter of our baseball program and Trevecca athletics, basketball, all athletics. Todd's a big time supporter of just Trevecca in general, and he's out there a lot checking out our guys' practices and keeping up with us. So the other team name was the Todd Fathers. So it was the Todd Fathers versus Mr. Eddie's Kids, and I think that Todd and Mr. Eddie Moon, they get into it just as much as our guys. But it's exciting, man. And we had a 3-game series. And as a coach, you want it to go, all 3 games. And it did. So it was tied 1-1. And then Mr. Eddie's Kids finished it off to win game 3. So it was exciting. Always fun to have the Fall World Series.
Yeah, so that's the fun part, right, of your job. And
absolutely.
But with the challenging part, that with the setting that we're in right now, what is that? The most challenging part that you have found over the last 3 months? Because from an outside perspective, I would guess recruiting, with everything that is difficult about getting in touch with high school programs, if they're even going to be able to play. A lot of them didn't even play last season. So has that been the most difficult thing? And if not, what has?
Yeah, I would say recruiting, the most difficult part probably of our team and getting our team prepared, and we got time, we're a spring sport. We don't get going till, mid to end of February. So it's not as stressful, worried about getting our guys prepared. But, probably the biggest hurdle, was going day to day, trying to schedule inter squads and, with keeping our pitchers and our position players healthy, and, just scheduling in general, in the fall, and trying to get as much out of this fall as we could. That was pretty difficult. But, again, that goes back to having a mature team and an older group of guys, and they adjusted and they adapted so well that, we didn't have to worry about injuries, and we didn't have to focus on that as much. We kind of knew they were taking care of what they needed to take care of. So that was probably the biggest thing with our team. Now, you mentioned recruiting. That's been a hurdle for sure. Now, we've been able to get on the road, this fall some, which was really nice because, all summer since March, we were shut down with recruiting, and everything was, video, and which is so hard to do in baseball. You can, and I say it hard to do. The reason I say that is you can see a guy swing and that he has a pretty good swing, or you can see him on the mound and know that that they're pretty good off the mound. But what's hard is to judge, what they look like, how they get on and off the field, and the way they communicate with their coaches, and the way they interact with their teammates in the dugout. That's really important to us, and we want to see that in person. But yeah, the recruiting's been a hurdle, and but the way everything is with social media now, and guys are putting up videos all the time, and that's been really helpful. And we've made do, and I think we've done as good of a job as I think we could possibly do in the time, for sure.
Last thing here before I let you go, you're
Yeah.
seeing a few other sports kind of gear up for their seasons. Basketball preseason coaches polls just came out. You mentioned you guys still have a while, right? Mid to late February. And obviously your season was cut short last year. How hungry is this team to get back to competitive action? Or are you as a head coach kind of like, no, I'm kind of glad we've got a few months here in between?
No, man, we're chomping at the bit. I mean, we'd love to start. We'd love to start in January if we could. They're motivated, to say the least. Not, and that sometimes that's cliche to say. Of course, I'm going to tell you that our guys are ready to go. But man, when you get something taken away from you in the middle of a season, something that you love so much, and these guys kind of, they live for it. They live for being around their teammates, being in the locker room, in the dugout, going on the road, the bus trips, the hotels, and getting that just taken away from you, which has happened around the world, right? It happened around, every baseball program is dealing with the same thing. So I'm sure we're not the only ones that are ready, gearing up and ready to go. But again, our guys, they are, to say they're exciting, that's probably an understatement. That's for sure.
Well, Coach, it's been fun to watch you guys work a little bit. There's something comforting, right, about the sound of a crack of a bat. And we've been able to hear it around Trevecca's campus in the last few months. And that's a great thing. Really looking forward to seeing it in a competitive atmosphere here in the next few months. We'll certainly be catching up soon. But, Coach Sain, I appreciate you taking out this time.
Absolutely, Lucas. Anytime, man. I appreciate you taking the time and getting me on here. And you guys are more than welcome to come out there and take some swings as well. I know I open that door all the time, and nobody ever takes me up on it. But come on out and take some BP with us anytime. All right.
Hey, I've never been afraid to embarrass myself, Coach, so I might take you up on that.
Come on, man. I appreciate
it, Coach.
Thank you, Lucas.